She is the deity who brought forth the world. Not only does she make existence abundant for humanity and fill the land with creatures her ocean heart was taken by a selfish person, transform her into a flame monster that ravages the world, ruining all that she had built before. Just as humanity was about to perish, a young woman awakened the deity, and that young woman was Moana. As a little one, she rescued a small ocean turtle, and Moana was chosen by the ocean. Give her the ability to command the ocean with a gesture of her hand, and the ocean would part for her. Moana looked with wonder. The ocean does the same action and offered her a bright green stone. Moana adores the ocean so deeply. Whenever she was close to the ocean, her father would constantly attempt to prevent her, and so years passed, and Moana matured. But one day, she discovered that all the coconuts on the island had withered up, and the fishermen came back with nothing. Food was now a critical problem, so Moana proposed fishing as an answer, but her father was firmly opposed to it. It turns out that her father and his closest friend had gone voyaging before, but there was a tempest. Vessel was wrecked by the violent waves. Her father's closest friend perished as a result. Since then, he developed a deep dread of the ocean. He also commanded his people to prevent them from going to ocean. To resolve the food crisis, Moana chose to take a wooden vessel alone and venture out to ocean, but she didn't travel very far. A massive wave knocked Moana right into the ocean. Her leg got trapped in a coral stone. At the last moment, she grabbed a stone and broke the coral. She was able to escape danger. Grandmother happened to witness this occur. Grandmother chose to bring Moana to the forbidden place, tell her all the mysteries of her forefathers. It turned out that their ancestor was a sailor. Life was abundant until one day the heart of the sea was taken by the demigod Maui. The fire monster was released, and the ocean was full of creatures. Their vessels were continuously being devoured. In order to preserve their people alive, a law was established preventing them from going to ocean, and so all the vessels were locked away. And the evil continues to expand. They chase away all the nearby fish so that they could devour the island. The only method to halt this is to locate the demigod Maui and restore the heart of the sea. Moana was selected by the ocean gods to be the messenger to stop the coming destruction. For her people and her loved ones, Moana chose to voyage out to ocean. But no sooner had she departed, she was once again trapped in a tempest. Moana's wooden vessel was destroyed again. When she awoke, have reached on a barren island, Maui was trapped on the island for many years. The reason is that he took the heart of the ocean. Moana finally located him. Maui believed Moana was a supporter of his. Just then, Moana took the paddle and struck him in the chest. If it wasn't for Maui taking the heart of the ocean, all the islands would not be devoured up. The only solution now is to restore the star of the ocean. Maui doesn't worry at this point and place Moana in a cavern. He was ready to depart the area alone in his vessel. But the clever Moana soon got out, then leaping the path of the vessel, Maui turned around and departed, leaving an angry Moana in the ocean. But the ocean brought Moana directly to the vessel. Maui leaped into the ocean and tried to flee, only to be returned by the ocean with no option. Maui and Moana had to restore the star of the ocean together. But now Maui has lost his strength. The only method to get his tool back was to retrieve it first. The two of them reached the shrine. The gates of the shrine slowly opened. A pit in the earth appeared before Moana. Maui leaped straight down. Moana had to leap with him. The hook was resting on top of a mound of gold and treasures, and these were on the shell of a giant crab. Maui asked Moana to serve as bait to draw the crab's focus. He then leaped on the crab's shell to get the hooks. He was about to act cool when he accidentally transformed himself into a tiny fish child. Probably because he hadn't used it for so long, he's a bit rusty with the tool. Now the demigod Maui is being attacked by a crab. And that's when Moana created a heart of the ocean out of seaweed. This grabbed the crab's focus. Then she ran to the crab's shell to get the tool for Maui, and by the time the crab noticed, the two had already fled with a stream of water. After a period of getting used to the tool, Maui finally gained mastery of the tool. His magic was restored. Then they were prepared to restore the heart of the sea. But the fire monster is especially vicious. Maui was struck into the ocean by the monster. He transformed into a whale and grabbed onto the heart of the sea. Moana wants to go around the fire monster and cross the ravine. Maui tried to prevent Moana. At that moment, the monster came down with a strike. Maui blocks with his weapon, but the sheer power of the impact sent them soaring. Although they were unhurt, but Maui's tool had a fracture in it. The tool was made by the gods and cannot be fixed. Another impact would have broken it completely. Maui gave the heart of the sea back to Moana. Then he transformed into an eagle and departed alone. And just then a glowing ray appeared out of nowhere and transformed into Moana's grandmother. She sang a melody to Moana, hoping that she would be as brave as her ancestors. After hearing the melody, Moana's courage was restored. She chose to face the fire monster on her own. It's getting nearer. Moana leaped on the front of the vessel, changing direction, in an instant successfully avoid the fire monster attack. And then Moana used the mist to successfully cross the ravine. At this point, the monster is instantly enraged. He immediately struck again. Just at the last moment, Maui appeared out of nowhere. Fire monster had one of his limbs severed. Then he transforms into a large whale. Maui managed to create time for Moana, just as Moana was about to reach land. The fire monster, through a flame, the power of the ocean, stepped in just in time to block it and sent Moana to the shore. Moana climbed desperately to the peak of the hill. The fire monster strikes again with a deadly impact. By this time, Maui was giving his all too. Even if he lost Tool, he had to protect Moana from the strike. Maui's tool was finally shattered. Moana finally reached the peak of the mountain. But the body of the deity had already vanished. Just then, Moana realized that the design on the fire monster's body was the same as that of the heart of the sea. So she raised the heart of the sea high in the air. Immediately, the fire monster saw it. It became calm. Moana slowly walked to the shore. The ocean obeyed and parted. Then Moana stood on the rock and said to it, "This is not your real self." With the return of the heart of the ocean, the deity's true form slowly appeared. She gently touched the land, and all things returned to life. In an instant, the deity lifts up Moana, and Maui also apologizes to the deity for his error. The deity smiled and pardoned the man and gave him a present. Since then, Moana has guided her people back to their position as sailors living joyfully on the ocean, the 14th Disney princess. Moana, do you adore her? See you in the next video.